Hey guys, what is up? Free Agent Bowler with you. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, welcome in. I'm glad you're here. If you are a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back to watch another video. It means a lot to me, and I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you guys support the channel. And as we get closer to 1,000, I'm going to do some special giveaways and some special things, so stay tuned for that. Let me give you my 3 promises right away, though. Number 1, guys, I'm a non-staffer. This is a non-staff review. You're not going to hear me blow a ball up and make it sound great if it's not. I'm going to give you good shots, bad shots, everything in between. Number 2, guys, I put 10 games on every ball I review, at least 10. That way I can give you a little bit better judgment of what a ball is instead of making a snap decision after a game or 2. And then number 3, guys, is just about honesty. I've got nothing to gain and everything to lose by doing it any other way. So let's get to it. We're going to start with the Legends by Lane Masters Pure Diamond, which is a pearl ball, believe it or not. I don't know. It's a pearl. It doesn't look like a pearl. Here it is. This is after 1 game. Drilling here is 55 by 4 by 40, and I really love this ball, actually. I like it quite a lot, besides the fact that it gets that dirty. As we get into this, I want you guys to really look at what this ball is doing as it goes through the pin deck. As you guys know, if you've watched any of my reviews at all, I am really, really particular about how a ball finishes, about how it goes through the deck, about how it looks when it's going through and finishing through the pins. And you'll notice that this ball is deflecting. That one right there just went out at the 9 pin. I really don't like that in a bowling ball. It's something that is actually quite frustrating for me when I see that happening. Right off the bat, this was starting to look a lot like the Forge Fire, the way it rolls, the way it moves. It's very similar to that. But as I kept experimenting here, what I've kind of settled on is this ball is very it's stronger than the Venom Shock Pearl. It rolls similarly to the Phase 3, but it obviously doesn't have the angularity or the power of the Phase 3. But it's a good ball. I think it's an interesting piece for me because it fits kind of right in an area where I don't have anything. So interesting ball, though. I think if there's a hallmark about this ball, I would say it's motion. The motion, as you're going to see here, the motion doesn't really change. It's a very consistent kind of slower moving pearl, which is interesting for me because I don't really have one of those. The Venom Shock Pearl, which has been in my bag for a while and will stay there, can get kind of angular at times. This one doesn't seem to have that propensity. But it also is problematic because, as you'll see here, we leave a 10 pin, and watch how this ball finishes. So it deflects, right? So I say, okay, let's take a step back here. Let's slow this down and really see if I can make this thing work, because as it was looking there, this is not usable. So I slow it down and look. Bang. All of a sudden, this ball is rolling much, much better, and it looks way closer to the Phase 3 than it does the Forged Fire. So what that leads me to believe is that this ball is a ball that is somewhat speed sensitive, and you're going to see it in the last shot of the 10th again here. But look at these. These are all a little bit slower, and look at that motion. That ball finishes, to the left of the 8 pin, which is, that's a lot of continuous motion through the deck. It looks beautiful. When a ball looks like this, that's when I'm scoring my best. So this ball, though, I think is very speed sensitive. I think it's a ball that you can use on a lot of shots. I think you can use it primarily medium to light. I don't think it's something that you're going to be using on a heavy condition. It just doesn't have that in it. But on a medium condition, I think this ball could be really, really good. So if you play on a medium house shot or even some medium sports shots, I think you're going to have some success here. One thing that I've noticed about this ball is it doesn't get too crazy in the back. It doesn't fly off the lane like some pearls can. Now, it doesn't really look like a pearl. It is, though. And it just doesn't seem to really fly hard the way that pearls can. So it's a smooth motion. And now look right there. See, I mentioned it earlier. This is a ball where speed is really, really critical. Really critical with this ball. but I like it. I actually really do like this ball. I like how it moves. I like how smooth it is. I like its motion. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with this ball. We've got about 12, 13 games on it, something like that. We finished 233 here. I leave that bucket. Could have been one pin better. So the question is, does it make the bag? And is it the main bag or one of the totes? Well, this is going to go in the auxiliary tote, and it's going to replace, for now, the Ebonite Allure. The Ebonite Allure is still one of my favorite balls. Final grade here is an A. And if this ball doesn't kind of develop the way I think it will, then the Allure is going right back in. So appearance, I gave it 7. The reality is it's white, and it is easy to get dirty. So I gave that a 7. Reliability is the motion in the ball reliable to strike? And the answer is absolutely. Repeatability is if you do the same thing, if I do the same thing, frame after frame after frame, is it going to do the same thing? And I think the answer here is yes, it will. It's pretty consistent. Finish, I gave it 7.5, but after realizing over time here what this ball has to do, it's improved a little bit. Hitting power here is 9 points because it does hit really, really hard. 40.5 points in an A, and you'll see the price to performance ratio. You end up at a 0.81, which is actually really good. I think anything over a 0.80 is worthy of consideration. When you get up into the 0.9s, that's when it gets special. So let's look at the second ball here. So before we get into this, I got to say thank you to Darius Cotton from California Bowling. He is a staff bowler with them. He reached out to me. He said, hey, I'd really love to put this in your hands and get a review from you. And I said, absolutely. As long as you don't expect me to sugarcoat it, I'm happy to throw anything you want me to. So got it, drilled it up, put that 55 by 4 by 40 in this one as well. And, honestly, the mass bias in this ball is huge. It's bigger than the Radical Results, which is crazy because that is one of the highest mass bias balls around. This one sitting there at 0.30 is huge. Different ball, this ball here. So it started out as a 1000 grit and then polish. It's a pearl. It says it's for medium to heavy conditions. I'm not sure that I believe that because it doesn't seem to be that for me. Here's a visual of the ball for all of you that like to see that. But this ball doesn't seem to be a medium heavy ball for me. In fact, this ball, as you'll see as we get into this, is a very, very controllable piece. Look at that. There's not a lot of back end. It's a very slow ball. This thing is really slow getting into and out of its motion, its hook phase. You can see it doesn't snap hard on the back. It doesn't have a lot of that. This is a ball that, for me, I think would be used as really a control piece, a ball that I would use in a condition where I have to control the back ends because maybe they're flying. This ball doesn't move like that. I've thrown it a couple times on drier conditions, and the motion looks the same pretty much. What was a little strange to me, though, about this ball is how it was just, it doesn't move a ton. I would think with the numbers it has, 249, 052, 030 mass bias, this thing should be moving pretty hard. When it was polished up, I had to take it down. I took it down to 2000, and it just doesn't seem to finish. But I think as the pattern breaks down, that's where you're going to see this thing really come to play. If you're like me and you bowl a scratch league and you bowl 4, ouch, look at that 8-pin. Golly. If you're like me and you bowl a 4-game set, by that third or fourth game, I think this ball is going to be very, very useful for you. I think it's going to be a ball that you're going to be able to throw and really control what's going on. And that's a critical piece of an arsenal to have. A ball that you can trust, that is going to just stay consistent and not really read the back end as much as maybe some other pieces will. But as you see here, as I start going more direct now, the ball looks pretty good. It finishes pretty good. This has what they call elastic E in it. I don't know what that additive is exactly, but it does have elastic E in it. And I think that's their version of Dynamic Core. And the ball does hit pretty good. If there was one kind of hallmark about this, I would say control. This is a ball that you're going to control the lane with. This isn't a ball you're going to swing the lane with, because for higher speed, higher rev players, I just don't think it's in the cards. Now, what's interesting is I let a guy who I know throw this, and he's a lefty, but he's got the same span as me basically, and he's an older guy, throws it about 13 miles an hour, not a ton of revs, and I will tell you, this ball looked beautiful for him. It looked fantastic, getting down the lane and just holding and staying smooth, and giving him just a little bit more move than what you're seeing here. But I think overall, this is a control piece. As your condition breaks down, you got to control the back. That's where you're going to be with this ball. I've seen some other reviews with it where the ball looks like it's just absolutely flying. And for me, clearly you can see here that's not the case. I think the real person that this ball benefits is the lower to mid speed player, who doesn't have a tremendous amount of revs, and who is just going to let the ball just kind of drift into the pocket. That's who's really gonna enjoy this piece. It just seems like a ball that's who it's made for. A guy like me, it can be used, but it's a late in the set, late in the tournament ball to control what's happening on the lanes, which again is a very valuable piece. So we finish out not great, not bad, just kind of middle of the road here. But that's about what I would expect with this kind of a ball. So question is, does it make the bag? And if is the main bag or one of the totes? Well, the answer is it doesn't make either. This is going to reside in the tournament arsenal for me, somewhere in there. Final grade is a B+. I got to be honest, I expected a little more out of this ball. When Darius reached out to me, I said, "Ooh, this could be a lot of fun. Let's do it." And I expected a little more than I got. So appearance, I think the ball looks great, 8.5 points. Reliability, again, is the motion reliable to strike? And I think kind of. I think on the right condition it can be. Not always, though. Repeatability, does it, if I do the same thing over and over, does it do the same thing? Kind of. Again, I think it's condition dependent. Finish, I gave it a 7.5 points. I don't feel like it drives through the pocket the way that I would expect a ball to get through the pocket. So especially one with these numbers and kind of being a top flight, top performance ball, it just doesn't kind of meet that standard for me. So we end up at a 0.78 price to performance ratio, which isn't bad. It's a ball that if you can get it on sale, or maybe you can find it for cheap, it's probably worth it. So what's in the bag now? Here's what's in the bag. It hasn't changed. It's the Radical Results. If you watch that video, you know why that one's in there. We've got the Storm IQ Tour Nano Pearl. You know why that one's in there. This is the Axiom, just a great symmetric piece if you're in the market for that. And then the Omega Crux from Storm, and it's really weird. I'm not a Storm fanboy, but I got 3 of them in my bag right now. They're good balls right now. They're on kind of a hot streak. So, and then of course the old trusty, old faithful, the Venom Shock Pearl is in there. So, what's in the main tote? Well, as I mentioned, the Pure Diamond is in there now, and I think that adds a unique shape to this tote for me that I didn't maybe have before. I have a urethane alternative in the Badger Infused. Got the Equilibrium, which is just a tremendous ball. And then this is a pearl that doesn't act like a pearl. It's a usable ball. So what's next? What's coming at you? You've seen this. I'm showing it to you again because it is coming. This is the Storm Parallax. I've had this now for several weeks. And I've had a chance to really throw it on a lot of shots now. And this shot here is very emblematic of this ball. Just a beast through the deck. This might be, for me, the hardest hitting Storm ball that I've ever thrown. This thing is destructive through the pocket. I can't wait to bring it to you guys. So I want to say thanks to Arapahoe Bowling Center for allowing me in there. Guys, that's family owned and operated. Make sure you support them. These small businesses right now, they need us. Let's keep them afloat. And then, of course, Bobby's Pro Shop. who's also small, independent guy. Does a great job, though. He does most of my stuff. If you're in the area and you're in the market, make sure you look him up. I want to say thanks to you guys for watching. I appreciate it very much. Make sure you subscribe for the latest stuff. And if you have questions, comments, feedback, any of that, make sure you email me right there. Thanks, guys. The next one is coming real quick.